Any concern about him? Is he available tomorrow?
That didn't take long. Afternoon. Look, we're still assessing him. We'll make a call later on this afternoon to make sure that he's okay. He's still struggling with his ribs and his shoulder a little bit, but hopefully he can get through hitting some balls now and see how he goes this afternoon.
Russell, apart from obviously that fantastic run in New Zealand at the start of the year, the team's forward just hasn't been great. I mean, for you, what would you realistically expect as a measure of success in this match? Obviously, you know, to win it, but realistically, what would be the success for that?
Look, I know in terms of the results, the test side hasn't been good. We've lost a lot of test matches, but in terms of the way the games have gone and the competitive nature of it, I think there have been some big improvements in it. We know we're up against a really good Indian side here, in conditions that they're not that dissimilar to or not that unfamiliar with. Every series we play, we try and win, there's no doubt about it. And it's a home series, so my expectation is for us to be competitive, try and get the games into the fifth day, try and find a win on the fifth day. There's no doubt about that. We don't go into any games playing to not win. So realistically, I think we've got a chance. We can beat them if we play really well. We've done it for periods of time in test series over the last year, but not for long enough. So we know it's a tough series. I'm under no false illusions, but I'm expecting us to be very competitive and hopefully push India really hard in this series.
And you were talking about big improvements. I mean, can you describe what some of the...
Yeah, look, I think number one, going to South Africa, I think that first test match in South Africa where we restrict bowled South Africa out twice, we were chasing 270 and then got caught out in the last session. We were very much in that particular test match. I think that we lost the test series to the West Indies in Bangladesh, but they got 395 on day 4 when we didn't take our referrals, lost by 15 runs in the second test. So a lot of the games have had swings that have been really close. I think Litton Dustin's performance in the test matches, he's come good. Taskin's been fantastic. Eberdot's stepped up. So there have been a lot of really good positives for us. Mamadou Hassan Joy's 100 in South Africa. So there have been a lot of positives and a lot of good performances. It's just stringing those performances together consistently, session after session, that has sometimes been the challenge for us.
Coach, specifically mentioning Mominul, Joy and Shanto. Obviously there hasn't been a lot of runs in longer format cricket for them in the run-up to this test match, especially Mominul and Joy didn't score a lot of runs against India as well. Is there a concern, and what have you seen of them here?
Look, the challenge with when you're only playing one like Mominul and Hassan's last international game maybe 6 months ago now, and that's the challenge when you're only playing one format. A lot of guys, Sakib, Litton, they're playing week in, week out, they're playing international cricket, so it's not a big step up when they play domestic games, so that is a challenge for those one format players. Look, I know they might be short of runs, but they're actually looking really good the way they're playing at the moment. And I know the currency is runs, you've got to get runs, but in terms of technically and the way they're playing, they're actually looking in pretty good touch at the moment. I know Joy in particular has got a lot of starts, a lot of 20s, faced 50 balls and then got out. So it's just about finding that tempo and making sure that when you do get in international cricket, is finding that big score, because technically they both look in a good place at the moment.
Shanto?
Well,
Shanto was in, he had another shot at the one-day series, he scored runs, and this year hasn't been great for him.
yeah, look, he showed some really good signs in the test maybe a year and a half ago. He got 200s, one against Sri Lanka. And batting in the top order for young players, it's a tough position. Joy, if you had to ask Joy where he'd like to bat, he'd probably say 3 or 4, because I don't think he's always been a natural opener. I know Zakir is coming into test squad now. I think he's only opened 8 or 9 times, so he'd also prefer to probably bat 3 or 4 type of thing. So it's about being patient with those young players, particularly at international level. I mean, opening the batting 1, 2 and 3 in test match cricket, probably the hardest job in international cricket. So we've got to be patient with these young boys. Hopefully they start repaying some of the faith and give us something to hang on to as coaches and selectors, because that's ultimately what you want. Excuse me, sir.
Hi, coach.
Hi, sir.
Since 2015, Bangladesh lost 6 home series in test, most by any team. Do you, as a coach, do you think Bangladesh can't take home advantage, or they didn't utilize home conditions well as they are in ODIs?
Yeah, look, it's a tricky one because I'm generally wanting us to play on good wickets so that our cricket can improve. And I think part of that probably led to us doing really well in New Zealand in that one test match. I'm always very nervous about preparing wickets that are massively over the top because I don't think it benefits any of our game in the long term. If we're looking for results right now, I mean, you could prepare raging turners, but that brings India into the game just as much. So it's a very difficult situation we find ourselves in. We want to play on good wickets so that our batters can bat for long periods of time. But we know that then the Indian batsmen can also bat for long periods of time. So it's a very difficult situation. But I'm all for playing on good wickets. I don't think we need to play on wickets that are going to massively favour our bowlers because ultimately I don't think that benefits the team in the long run.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
there is a football World Cup semi-final tonight, and lots of boys in the camp are football enthusiasts. You can take it as a fun question, or you can take it seriously. How tough it will be to ensure the boys, sleep early and fine?
Now they've got to go to bed. It's as simple as that. You can't be watching football till 3 in the morning and playing a test match that starts at 9:30. It's stupid. I'd be disappointed if they did. I'd be very disappointed if they did.
Coach, Virat is not sitting for a long period of time right now. He didn't keep in World Cup T20s, he didn't keep in ODI series, and we didn't see him practicing keeping in fast pace as well. So is there any concern about Virat keeping or not?
Now I want Shawan to keep. I think if you look at the last test performances, Shawan was fantastic in the West Indies. There's no way he's got the right character, good keeper, gives us a good competitive edge behind the stumps, very vocal, so thoroughly deserves his place. And I'm wanting to back Shawan as a keeper in the test side because his performance has been really good when he's played. He's the one batter at the moment, averaging over 40 maybe in test match cricket. Maybe I'm wrong, I'm not sure. But he's come in and done really well when he's played, so he'll keep tomorrow.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
in the last 4-5 tests, Shanto got out after passing all the struggle period after being set. Is it a concern?
It is because that's the hardest part of batting is to get yourself in. He's got himself just 20s and 30s so many times, then got out. So it's definitely something he's aware of and something we've spoken about.
Another question. We saw that some young guys from A team, from HP team, young pacers, young off spinners, is it a great opportunity to them?
Absolutely, been great to have them train here with us. Alan did fantastically to invite them all over to come and spend a couple of days with us, and he spent a bit of time with them. So there's some really good, nice fast bowlers in the system. I've been impressed with some of the tall boys that I've seen, which puts Bangladesh fast bowling in a good position at the moment. I think our fast bowling resources are looking good at the moment, and that's a big positive for us.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
the side of the recently, he is also the deputy of Sakibal Hassan in Test cricket. So my question is, how impressive Ritoni as a captain or vice captain?
For the test match,
Captain or vice captain, in ODI or Test?
Sakib's captain of the test team, Liton vice captain of the test team. What's the question, sir?
He is in the ODI.
Oh, how impressive. Yeah, look, I actually spoke to him yesterday, and I like captains that are like really calm and not quietly spoken, but supportive of their players, particularly when the team's under pressure. And I actually watched the second ODI on television yesterday, and I saw when Eberhard could hit for a 6 or 1 disappeared over the scoreboard. He was very calm in his body language and his demeanor, and I think that really helped the team get over the line. So I was very impressed with the way he went about things. Look, he had a lot of assistance tactically on the field, which was fantastic by some of the older players, but I really felt he carried himself well and kept his team really calm in the pressure situations in the game. So I was very impressed with that.
Coach,
Yes, sir.
in the last few years, the dimension of the test cricket has been changed. There are lots of attacking cricket, and very much, most of the countries are playing attacking cricket now. Why are we Bangladesh test cricket now? And if opponent attack us, what will be our plan?
Well, if you ask me if we're going to bat like England, I don't think so. Not at the moment. It's unbelievably exciting the way they're playing and taking the game forward. And I mean, that's massive credit to the way they've gone about it. I don't think we're there yet as a team where we can try and play that brand of cricket. We've got to find ways to not lose first before we find that winning formula, because at the moment we still get too easily beaten in this format. When teams attack us, look, I'm not sure how India are going to go about their business. I think they also quite an orthodox team in the way they play their test match cricket, but have players that can take the game away from you very quickly. They're all attacking players. We've got to make sure we're really disciplined and patient in the way we bowl and stay calm in the pressure moments. But yep, I'm not expecting India to try and play the way that England play, because I don't think that's their style of test match cricket at the moment.
Last 3 questions.
Coach Manoj from Sports Yari, you spoke about Spain. If not, he will definitely come into the picture in the groups. So India have assured up their ranks with that off spinner and against the left-handers. That would be a favorable matchup for him as well. So how are the preparations for Ashwin, and also update on Taskin, because yesterday he said that he is not sure.
Firstly, on Taskin, we're not going to risk Taskin playing this first test match. He's come from a little bit of a layoff and a few injections, and to get him to bowl for a day and a half in Chittagong in these conditions maybe not good for him, so he'll probably be rested for the first test match. And then exactly what I said is the situation we said that if you prepare Raging Turner, India very much in the game, so very tricky, because Ashwin's one of the best spinners that's ever played the game. Look, we've spoken about it, and each player will have his individual plans about how to count him, particularly the left-handers, about the areas they're looking to score against him. So those are things as a batting group we've discussed and will continue to discuss over the next couple of days. Pleasure, sir. Yes, sir.
Usually finds himself out of the squad during away matches. And when Shakir is there, but during home tests he has to come back and do a lot of work. So what do you think, how difficult it gets for him to adjust to the scenario?
Yeah, like I explained earlier, very difficult for the guys who play that one format. I think the one positive with Tajul is that he's got such a fantastic attitude and desire to play for Bangladesh. When he comes back, he lifts the team by 10% because his attitude is always so good.